Right, I'm a man on the edge. I'm on my 5th video, and I just got all the way through this video, and then it deleted itself. So I'm pretty angry. I hope you appreciate it. If I sounded a bit bored during this video, it's because I've just said the exact same stuff 3 minutes ago. Okay, so economic growth. Let's go with this. Let's get all hyped up. There are two parts to the definition for economic growth. It's when I'm going to zoom in on it. It's when the productive capacity of the economy increases, right? That's the first part of the definition. The second part is as measured by, right, GDP. So, for it to be true economic growth, both these things have to happen. So there has to be an increase in the productive capacity, and there has to be an increase in GDP. Right, that's important for later, that point. Right, economic growth, how is it measured? It's measured by GDP, which is the gross domestic product. And this is just basically, and you've got to say this word, it is the total value, and that's the key word, of goods and services produced in a country in a year. Now, just a little fact for you here. For there to be a recession, there has to be 2 quarters of negative growth. So negative GDP. Now, for there to be 2 quarters of this, that a quarter is 3 months. So basically, there has to be 6 months of negative GDP for it to be called a recession. Right, here we go. We're going to go through the 2 diagrams here. I'm going to start off with long run economic growth because it's the only one which fulfills the 2 parts of the definition. Short run doesn't. So long run economic growth, the first diagram you'll do is just the AS line shifted outwards like this. And you do a demand line quite high to make it easy for yourself. And then you just do some dotted lines. Okay, so as you can see, the reason why this is called true economic growth is because the 2 things that we want to happen have happened. So the 2 things are the productive capacity of the economy has to go up and GDP has to go up. So as you can see, if I actually label my diagram properly, GDP has increased, as you can see here. So I'll just label that as well. And also, over here, the productive capacity of the economy has gone up. So this is the capacity, and it's gone up over to here. So that's good. Now, a second diagram you can draw, which I wouldn't draw because it doesn't look as good, is capital goods and consumer goods. Right, and this is a PPF. So that is the initial line, and then this is your second line, which shows the economy has increased. But as you can see, from those 2 diagrams, which one's better? Obviously, the first one is. Okay, switching across now to short-run economic growth. Now, just very quickly, just before I switch across, this long-run economic growth is fantastic for the economy because it affects all parts of Tiger in a positive way. So our trade balance should get better because our price levels have gone down, which means our goods are more competitive. Inflation has gone down, again, because our price level, P1 has gone to P2. Thirdly, there's been growth, and it's proper economic growth because there's been an increase in our productive capacity. And finally, employment should get better because, obviously, we're making more goods, so therefore we'll need more workers. Right, now we're going to short-run economic growth. Right, this diagram, short-run economic growth is not as good as long-run economic growth. Now, first of all, I'm just going to show how it happens. It's when AD increases. Okay. I've fallen apart. There we are. So AD has increased. Now going back to our definition, for it to be proper economic growth, the productive capacity of the economy has to go up, as does GDP. Now as you can see in this diagram, only GDP goes up. So GDP has gone up, so that's one part of it. So GDP has gone up, but the problem is, I haven't labelled this very well, the productive capacity of the economy has stayed the same, which means it can't be called true economic growth. And the problem with short-run economic growth is it's all well and good, but the price level is going up. So if the economy grows too fast, with AD going up too fast, short-run economic growth can actually be bad because it will cause inflation. Right, grand finale now. What can cause short-run economic growth? We know it's any increase in AD, so we put C plus I plus G, plus X minus M. And then, what factors can cause long-run economic growth? So it's anything that can do Q squared cell. Now, if you can't remember what Q squared cell means, you have to go back to the video, the second video, where it shows you how diagrams shift. Okay, I'm done. That's the 5 videos. Please tell me you've watched all these videos when we get back from term. I'll actually probably cry if you don't. Have a nice Christmas.